Welcome to today's group training, guys. We are doing something different today. We're having Damon, one of the leaders in our community, walk us through a meal prep. How are we doing, Damon?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for doing this for us.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So what we've decided to do today, since it is fall time, we've decided to do something relatively easy. We're doing a crock pot beef stew. I'm going to show you some of the ingredients that I've got. One of the biggest things that I've kind of learned throughout my journey in the kitchen is that recipes are or can be very subjective. A lot of times they're really just a backbone to show you what kinds of things you can put into your food. Um, if you're new to cooking and you're looking and you're not really sure what types of things to put in there, I would follow a recipe, not necessarily 100% to the T, but follow along so you know like what kinds of flavors work well with other flavors. Once you've had a chance to really experience your hand in the kitchen, you know what certain things taste like, you know what kinds of consistencies and textures work well with others. You can really start to find other things that work in any recipe. You can start substituting things in and out, things like that. You can really kind of add to taste. You don't really necessarily have to do a full tablespoon of something. Sometimes it's just a pinch here and there. So have fun with it, enjoy what you're doing, and put your intention into what you're doing. So a lot of beef stew recipes will call for some form of steak, whether it's sirloin steak, London broil. You can really use whatever you want. What I'm going to be doing today is 1 pound of beef sirloin and then 1 pound of ground turkey. The reason I'm doing the ground turkey is because I want to have something that's going to be really lean, not going to have quite as many calories, but still also have a lot of protein. And because it's ground, it's actually going to act more as a protein filler, along with all of the vegetables that we're using today. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera around here real quick. If I can figure out how to do that. There we go. So today we've got yellow squash. My camera is not wanting to zoom here.
It's kind of blurry. It's kind of
Yeah, I don't know how. Let me see if I can turn
we
that
can
off.
see it a little bit. We can kind of see what's going on.
Here, I'll flip it around.
That was kind of better for a second.
Nope. Oh,
Oh,
there we
there we
go.
go. There we go.
So I've got yellow squash. I've also got green zucchini. We've got, come on, zoom in there. No?
All right.
All right. Let me see if I can fix that.
And I also have yellow squash and green zucchini.
Perfect.
Celery there, and was that some dark leafy
Yeah.
greens?
So this is some basil and some rosemary from the garden.
Ooh.
I am huge when it comes to using herbs. If you don't have your own garden, that's totally fine. You can always get herbs from the grocery store. Right here, I've got a pound of ground turkey and then my pound of sirloin here. Sorry, don't mind the dishes. We are doing meal prep today. It is just a natural part of life. We also have some mushrooms. That's totally personal preference. If you don't like mushrooms, don't put them in. Garlic, we're definitely loading up on that. We've got some red potatoes here, and then a little bit of beef broth. In this guy, what I'm going to be doing today is I have steamed a head of cauliflower. I'm going to use that as a thickening agent because I am not wanting to put flour in. So I'm gonna use that. We're gonna put it in our food processor, get it nice and smooth, and then we will get that mixed in
Hey,
as
Damon.
a.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. So
Yep.
I steamed some cauliflower here too. I'm gonna put it in my Ninja. You think that should be okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
You think I should add a little water?
Yeah, just a little bit. There's still going to be a bit of water left in the
Okay.
cauliflower itself from steaming. So you don't want to put too much, then it's just going to be white water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe like one fourth of a cup, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm going to mute this really quick. I'm going to pop this cauliflower into the
Oh, we can
uh,
handle it. Okay,
food
fine.
processor.
Go ahead and mute. We can handle it though. So, and as we're doing this live, guys, if anybody has any questions or any wins they want to share in the chat, Damon and me would love to hear anybody's wins. If you guys have been winning today, or if there's any questions or anything you guys are struggling you want to talk about, you guys can hit the chat. Awesome. I also wanted to say, guys, like Damon is a testament of this, and a few clients, the clients that have had that lost the most amount of body fat, they found a few recipes that they really loved and they were just consistent for the long term, and then they just find ways to like switch it up a little bit, add a little bit of variety. But once you find something that you really enjoy and you can make it consistently and make it with a different sauce or different seasoning, like I've seen the best progress with most of my clients who find just a few simple recipes to make consistently and lose 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds. Like that's where I've seen it just comes down to the nutrition, guys, finding something that works for you for the long term. And I feel like once you find yummy recipes that you can alternate with and that you can eat and stay on track with and not feel restricted, that's when the magic happens. What's up, Samantha? I'm getting my butt out to walk at the park with the kids. It's an accomplishment when they're cranky. Yeah, massive win. Massive win. I love to hear that. Guys, we want to hear some more wins. I know Kevin just hit a savage cardio session. So we be winning all day, guys. We got about a little bit over 2 months left of 2024, and I just want us to to keep showing up. So when New Year's gets here, we're gonna feel ready and confident for our New Year's resolutions, and all the New Year's resolution people are gonna be like looking at us like how we are in such hot momentum. So I don't know what Damon's doing, but I got zucchini, red potato, yellow zucchini, green zucchini, red potato in here. And I am going to blend up this steamed cauliflower. Best blender in the game, guys, Ninja. The cup is the blender. And I'm not as nice as Damon, so I'm not going to mute. I'm going to let it go. Oh, nice. Kevin, you ordered a Ninja? Hell yeah. They're not that much. I think this was like maybe 50, $60. I mean, and I've had it for years, and you can do everything with it. It's a food processor, a blender, a smoothie maker. You can make sauces with it. So I highly recommend this one. So I've never blended steamed cauliflower. So
Going to be kind of an experiment.
sorry, I'm gonna mute myself. My bad. I'm gonna mute myself.
No, you're good. You're all good. This is going to be kind of an experiment with the cauliflower. I've never done this, but I've read about it in a couple of different recipes. So that's half the fun, is figuring it out as you go. Okay, I'm going to mute myself one more time so I can finish up this cauliflower and then we start.
Wait, Damon, what should the consistency be of this cauliflower? Should it stay like? Should it be like?
It should be pretty smooth.
Okay.
So, like mine came up and it's like I got it as much as I could. What I'm probably going to do is once it's all done is I'm going to put it in a saucepan and cook it down.
Okay. Like mashed
'Cause
potato consistency, you'd say?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
All right, let me mute myself one more time.
Cool. So for people who are just tuning into the live, Damon's walking us through a crock pot meal prep. We're doing a lot of veggies, a lot of meats. I'm doing 2 pounds of steak. I think this is a sirloin steak. And I got about 4 red potatoes, 2 zucchinis. I'm also going to be doing Brussels sprouts and corn and mushrooms. Okay? This is gonna be yummy. Yeah, that would be fun if we could do. Damon, they want to know if you have any culinary training, maybe from the Cheesecake Factory. I don't think he's hearing us. Once he gets on mute, we'll ask him.
What's that?
Do you have any culinary training?
No.
No.
Nope, just in the kitchen.
Yep. He's a pro. I mean, you don't really need. I mean, practice. He's been practicing meal prepping for a while, and just cooking. All it really takes is time management.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in restaurants before, but I've always been in the front of the house. I've never had any like formal kitchen training. I just love cooking food.
Yep. Do you think I should start searing the steak, Damon?
What was that?
Should I start searing the steak?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Guys, I got this cool olive oil dispenser because olive oil has a ton of calories. So, and when you have the bottle and you're just trying to pour a little bit of driblets, you can pour a little bit too much, and then there's 50 calories, there's 75, there's 100, there's 200 calories. This thing, like it sprays. I'm just give you guys an example. It sprays like an actual one of those Pam sprayers, and you can put any type of oil in here. So, got this for $5 on Amazon. This is another cool buy because a lot of times people don't even realize how much oil they're putting on their food, and that's why they can't get in a calorie deficit.
So, and so a lot of times with beef stew, what some people will do is they will dredge the beef in flour and then they'll pan fry it so it gets a little bit of like a crispiness on the outside. So I'm going to actually be using arrowroot flour. It's like a starch flour alternative. Trying to save as many calories as possible while
You
also
think oat flour will work?
it should. I've never used that, so and I don't think the flavor from that is going to be super strong, so you should be fine.
I also have almond flour.
I wouldn't use almond flour. That's going to be a very specific flavor.
Okay, got it. Cool. I think I'm gonna skip the flour. I love my cast iron pan, guys. If you don't have a cast iron pan, I highly recommend it. I cook almost everything on it.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start with browning off the ground turkey. There are certain things, like even with crock pot cooking, there's certain things that I like to cook ahead of time before putting in there. And that's mostly because there are certain flavor profiles that different types of food have depending on the state they're in when you start cooking them with other things. So when you're cooking meats specifically, if you're looking for something that's going to have like a little bit more of a crispier texture on the outside, I'd probably cook it first ahead of time. Um, Especially if you're going to be cooking it with like garlic or like any kind of specific flavor that you want the meat to have. Cook that ahead of time. You don't necessarily have to cook it all the way through because it is going to be in the crock pot. but like something like this, I'm going to be adding garlic directly to the meat along with some seasonings before I actually put it into the crock pot. So that's why I'm cooking it ahead of time. It does take a little bit more time than just throwing everything in the pot and letting it do its thing, which you absolutely can do. It's just a personal preference of mine.
Have you turned on your crock pot yet?
No, not yet.
Got it.
So I also grabbed a giant bag of mixed frozen vegetables. I'm going to do 2 cups of this. There's just going to be like a basic base. If you prefer fresh vegetables, go for it. I just did this because I wanted to get a bunch of different things all at one time.
And you can
I do
definitely
have
mix
fresh
fresh.
vegetables that I'll also be putting in here, but this is going to just be for the base.
Do you think it's okay to mix fresh and frozen vegetables?
What was that?
Do you think it's okay to mix fresh and frozen vegetables?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. It's not going to ruin the texture of one or the other with the crock pot.
No, I mean, the fresh vegetables, I'd probably put in. I mean, I don't really think about it too much in a stew. I just throw it all in,
Got it.
to be honest.
Stop. I'm overthinking it.
If you're looking for your vegetables to be like a specific consistency, like if you want them to be more tender, I would probably recommend getting fresh, and I would put those in closer to the end of the stew being done.
Well,
If you like your vegetables to be a little bit more soft,
I'm just worried
then you
like
can
the
throw them in.
potatoes will cook fully all the way through. Just leave them.
Yeah,
Just cook. Okay.
yeah. So as far as seasonings go, do whatever you're comfortable with. I have a bajillion seasonings because I like to play around with different flavor profiles. This guy right here is probably one of my favorites. It's a salt-free flavor mix. It's got cracked black pepper. We've got onions, celery seed, basil, mustard, cayenne pepper, garlic. So it's got a bunch of different flavors going on. And you can really get as heavy as you want with it because it doesn't have any sugar or any salt in it.
Nice. Things like the mushrooms you should put in last because they cook so quick.
What was that?
Things like the mushrooms you should put in last because they cook so quick, right?
Yeah.
Are you doing onions? Oh,
So I'm gonna start chopping up my celery here. I'm a weirdo and I like my celery to be a little more tender, so I'm gonna put mine in now.
you turned your crock pot on?
Not just yet.
Okay, let me know. But yo, guys, what was I saying? Like the clients that I've had that have got lost the most amount of weight have found recipes that they've loved either out of my cookbook or some type of recipe that they could stay consistent with and variations of that recipe and just finding ways to make low calorie, high protein meals taste good. Like that's the key. Cutting onions, starting to cry. The workouts are going to help us build the muscle. The nutrition is going to help us drop all the fat and reveal all the muscle. So the nutrition is where you see the results from. So we really got to focus on getting you guys to find some recipes that you really enjoy to make consistently, or you find some type of your protein source that you can eat consistently and make with your recipes. Fat loss gets very easy once we find the right recipes, once we find the right meal plan, the right meals that you guys like. Fat loss becomes easy. Yeah, one pan dishes, me too. I know what you mean. The easier, the better. I know right now with the crock pot, it's kind of a little scary for me because I've never done a crock pot recipe, so that's why we're having Damon lead us here. But once you do something like this, maybe the crock pot might be something I do regularly because it seems kind of cool. You just throw it all in the same thing and it just slow cooks, and then boom. But the easier, the better. I don't really like making super elaborate meals. Ugh. So I got all my veggies in here. It's onions, corn, Brussels sprouts, red potatoes, yellow and green zucchini, and I think that's it. Oh, god damn.
So my ground turkey is almost done. It's browned on one side. I'm starting to get this all mixed together here.
Nice.
Getting
You
all of
think
those seasonings nice and mixed in.
you think the steak should be all the way cooked or just slightly?
Uh, no, you don't have to cook it all the way through. You're really just browning the outside. And then once you're comfortable with the color on the outside, go ahead and throw it in the pot.
Got it. Have you already started putting shit in the pot?
Yeah, I just have the celery and the mixed vegetables. Once the ground turkey is done, I'm going to go ahead and throw that in. I'm going to do 1 cup of beef broth, 1 cup of water, and then I'm going to turn the crock pot on while I'm getting the rest of everything else prepped.
Got it. So you haven't turned the crock pot on yet.
Not just yet.
Okay. One last question, Damon.
Yep.
I just put the veggies in there. Should I add like a cup of water?
Yeah, go ahead and do 1 cup of water. If you have beef broth, go ahead and do a cup of that as well. If you don't, no worries.
Okay, so 1 cup water, 1 cup beef broth.
Yep.
Okay, and what about the cauliflower stuff? That comes in later?
We're going to do that here towards the end.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Damon.
Yep. All right. So this bad boy is going right in the pot.
And fun fact, beef broth has a good amount of protein for the calorie ratio. It's 15 calories with 4 grams of protein. That's pretty legit.
Right.
And I also got one of these beefy onion soup mixes I'm going to add.
Yep, we'll do that here in just a bit.
Cool.
All right, so I'm taking my steak out. I'm going to go ahead and get this chopped up for us real nice and small.
Uh-oh, Damon. What we do only have 10 minutes for the recording, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But we can show we I think we can show everybody what we put in the crock pot. We're not going to be able to show the end result.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
I mean, I think within this 10 minutes we'll be able to show all the ingredients going in the crock pot, turning it on, and you explaining what all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. And we can
So,
keep going after the recording. But yeah.
so this is what I've got so far. My phone will work. There we go. So I've got the ground turkey, we've got the celery, we've got the mixed vegetables. Um, my recommendation is whatever vegetables are going to take the longest, put those in first, unless you like your vegetables to be a little softer, which is totally fine. I'm cooking mine for to be a little on the softer side. I live with my grandmother, and so I need to make sure she's able to actually eat it.
Yep.
So, so I'm just putting all the vegetables in there now. Once I get this beef in the pan and that starts cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get the potatoes done. We're going to get those chopped up into relatively bite-sized pieces, and then we'll get those put in here. We're going to put a cup of water, a cup of beef broth in there. Make sure you get this guy turned on. Depending on how long you want it to cook, I would either do low or high. We're planning on having this for dinner, so I'm going to have it on high. Generally, I like to cook things in the crock pot low and slow. Just leave it on low. Let everything really just kind of simmer and marinate throughout the day as it's cooking. It really allows for those flavors to really sink deep into every bite, which is super, super good. This is just more of a I'm trying to make dinner tonight. It's got to be ready in 4 hours. So we're putting this puppy on high. So let me go ahead and finish chopping this guy up real quick. We'll get it in the pan and then
And you haven't turned the crock pot on yet, right?
not just yet.
And if I plan on doing I want to do a lower cook, so I would choose either like 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry the Zoom only lets us record for 40 minutes, but
That's okay.
if you want to go and just chill on the video for a little bit longer after the recording, we can do that too.
Yeah, that's fine.
You didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
Kevin saw it. Uh-oh. Cool, but I mean, hopefully, maybe we can start doing this. Maybe I don't know, once a month or twice. What do you think, Damon?
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think more live, more group trainings like this get people more engaged, more excited to do their own meal prep.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about what would be the best day of the month here soon. Yeah, definitely makes it feel more connected. I would like to do these maybe like every Thursday, but I don't know if that's gonna be possible. But maybe we could try.
I mean, Thursdays work for me for now because those are my normal days off, and that's my meal prep day. I'm going to be taking time off of work in January to um, help take care of my grandma. So I will be off. My days off will be every day, kind of. So if there's a better day that works during the week for other people, I'm happy to change at that point.
For sure. Well, Thursday's my usually a rest day and meal prep day. I mean, I would like Thursdays, and I think it'd be cool to have two group calls back to back. How we have the Wednesday call, and then the Thursday call. So if you're up for it, or And
Yeah.
you don't have to facilitate every single one, but you know.
So I'm just dredging my meat, right? I just put a bunch of seasonings in here with the beef. I just wanted to get a nice light coating of the floury starch on there, just so that way when it gets into the pan, it can start browning real quick. Okay. So while that's doing that, for this recipe, this guy's your best friend. There's also a beefy onion or just an onion version. Just use one packet of it. That's perfect. We're going to use the whole packet.
Putting it in now?
So just go ahead and take one of these guys out. Rip that lid off the top there. We're going to just
Gingerly?
gingerly sprinkle this over the top. Going to give it a really nice deep flavor to it. Also, if you have an espresso maker or if you drink coffee, you can do this if you want to. I'm going to be adding 2 scoops of instant coffee to this. It's going to help to give it a nice, deep, rich flavor.
Really?
Don't go overboard with it because coffee, especially this stuff, is very strong flavor-wise.
I'm gonna throw a double shot of espresso in there.
I'm also throwing an entire thing of mushrooms in here because I love mushrooms. And then for garlic, do as much as you're comfortable with. This is another one. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. This is another one of my favorite herb blends. You can get these, and it's just like a mix of different types of herbs. This one's got a little lavender in there. Do not be afraid of the herbs. They are your friends. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do 1 cup of water in here. And then I'm going to do 1 cup of beef broth, at least for now. You can always add more. Don't get too crazy. You don't want everything to be drowning in there. The vegetables will have their own water. So as they start to heat up, the water is going to evaporate into the bowl with everything else.
Hey, so sorry, Damon. We have a minute left for the recording,
Okay,
and so I put mine on power and then 8 hours. You think that's good?
perfect.
Awesome. Well, I thank you, Damon, for doing this for us, and maybe we can
Of
do this
course.
again. Yeah, we
I think
appreciate.
that's about it. Other than that, have fun in the kitchen, eat what makes you happy, and get 1% better every day.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Hey, thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody who tuned into today's live. Hopefully, we'll get to do this again. And big shout out to Damon for taking time to show us how to properly meal prep. I appreciate you, Damon. We'll see you
No
guys.
worries. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome.